Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have Diana jungle going not the Sunfire Nash's Tooth build, but the Protobelt Nash's Tooth build, because that's one we actually haven't done. And I thought 97% kill participation, damn, that's impressive. Let's do that, because I thought maybe you, the people, would appreciate that as well. Now, she does get first blood, but I don't want you to panic, okay? Because the Lee Sin is also gonna get some juice here because we're against a Yone, and they typically, like their long-lost brother, you know, can feast or feed, essentially. So, Singe top lane, Lee Sin shows up, doesn't quite get the kill Singe does, but all things are a little bit equal, okay? That's all we need to focus on for now. How can we jungle with such pressure, such pathing, such gravitas, that we end up with 97% kill participation? You know, let's find out. Runes on your screen now, standard stuff. Couldn't be less exciting, but it is what it is. She works with this. In Season 13, everything we talk about in this video will be exactly the same. Yes, clears will change a little bit. Yes, you can't stack camps together. Yes, our jungle items will shift a little bit. But for the most part, all the jungle pathing will remain quite similar. So we can still translate the carry principles over to the future. Now, we are starting on the red buff here. We can go from this into the Krugs, looking for a typical first full clear. But we do have a lead. So when you get the first blood and you get a lead, the most common tactic by lower elo players, I just mean lower than this elo, right? So if you're beneath Master Plus, you get a first blood, you're like, hey, I get a Dark Seal, and then you just bomb. And then you're like, well, you know, how did the enemy jungler get fed? It's like, well, you were sitting on your throne, you know, thinking you're amazing. It's like, maybe you are, but the map wouldn't know because you're busy fighting a Gromp. Now, that tornado misses. We're doing a red side quadrant here. The Lee Sin should be going all the way down. He could red Raptors Gromp gank. He could red Raptors. He could red blue Gromp gank. The possibilities are endless. Now, our bottom lane does show some sign of sentience and wards this bush, so that's nice. The red team here warding this is a little bit silly because there's no reason for the Diana to 239 gank bottom lane, but they're going to go all in on our space gliding Caitlyn here into a minion wave and try and get a kill back. Diana's on the top side fighting. What is burned? We have no flash. We have teleport Caitlyn, actually. I don't like when my ADCs have teleport. You know, you don't know how to use it typically, and the combat sum would always be better, but hey, it is what it is. We can expect a Lee Sin to show up shortly or thusly, unless of course he decides he's going to do his blue into his wolves or flex something else. As the Diana, we cannot read this, but with the Scuttle Crab spawning, there he is, 16 CS, so he did red Raptors Gromp blue. We can tell that from the timers. She flashes, he misses the Q, she does some pokey. This Diana decides, hey, I'm going to do the crab here and gank mid lane. This is exactly what you want to do. Translate this into a counter gank without hesitation. You see a low Ziggs, yes flash, it doesn't matter. Gap close onto the minion wave there, which means you can use your secondary on the Ziggs, but he's able to flash away. The Lee Sin goes deep to get the kill on the Seraphine. We're going to check out a Q, and now we're just going to push the wave. This will happen. So 97% kill participation. Yes, we had the first blood, but no. It isn't a case of all lanes winning, and we just get away with freebie, but in this situation, you want to push the wave. Bottom lane Scuttle should now be on the cards. Lee Sin should be able to snack it. I don't Hey, you know what? We'll take it. Yes, we'll take that. Without question, enjoy your free gift from the universe. Now, the bottom lane here is obviously going to be a little bit shoved in. Could we look for a potential dive? And this is the next step for any sort of jungler that has a lead or feels they have the map tempo advantage. He goes back to his wolf camp, gets a little low, and walks into the Diana here. He's going to ward hop to safety across that bush. We're going to gap close again using that E. Do we have another Q? We do. In now. He goes back in for some particular reason. We're just going to do the auto attack, flash passive auto attack. We hit the Q on the Karma here. We're tanking a lot of damage. Caitlyn shows up. We're getting shielded by the Janna. We hit another Q on both their bottom lane. Come on, Caitlyn. Get the kill. No, she misses. She chases after the Ezreal, and she does get the Q kill. Diana, in the meantime, says, let me just QE that sucker, use the W for the shield, and escapes. So good. Well done. Clean, effective, punished their mistakes, and also made the decisive tempo play. Double scuttle, full clear, push mid lane, diveable bot lane, HP advantage over the enemy jungler. Ensure that you punish that. How many times do we talk about this in coaching? How many times do we talk about this on the main channel in the edited video content or the more coaching video content? Look for those dives. You don't have to be a savant. Your team can be whatever elo. If the wave is pushed and crashing there low enough with enough mechanics and presence in your champion, you can without a doubt get some kills. Now, Lee Sin goes back to the mid lane and with his Ziggs punishes Seraphine, which objectively we all enjoy. Not when we're, you know, well, not when we have the Seraphine on our team, but, you know, character-wise. character assassination, as it were. Now, we go to our second tier Krog camp. We could float onto the Raptors. We could keep sequencing Ostrich jungling, but we see the Ziggs now with no flash, no TP, no mana. Could we get into this? We don't have flash ourselves either. We need to be quite... There we go. I was gonna say quite. Let her get the kill and then finish it off with a power word. I don't have one for that. I only have negative words that are coming to mind, but I wish to keep this monetized. So we mechanically misplay the situation, and he escapes. That's fine. We shoved him, we pushed away, I'll take the experience. Now, you could carry on sequencing here, anticipating the Lee Sin's top lane, so you can counter gank this, but if that's the case, you could obviously just look to take this. But if bottom lane is prio, it's better to gank this, use the mid prio with the Seraphine roaming, which, of course, it looks like we're going to do. It's warded, doesn't matter, just keep walking. If as soon as you stop, she hits that. Very, very nice. We're going to get the ult through on that QE. And we'll take that juice, clear this, take this, and take this now. Or, if you feel like your bottom lane just wants to reset by pushing and denying, maybe getting a plate, maybe the Seraphine needs the base as well, don't force the dragon, okay? Don't force the dragon. That's a crucial thing here. If your bottom lane doesn't rotate, if mid has prio, if the Lee Sin is now a big question mark, where could he be? Is he resetting, coming down? Too many unknowns, don't force it, okay? It's too much of a good dragon. Maybe, there you go, see? He is still down a level, but... with their bottom lane coming out of base, and your bottom lane going to be needing to reset, and your mid laner being pushed in, don't coin flip it, my friends. A little bit of safety is fine. What we can do is loop path a little bit. We can always cut back down like this, should we have red and Krugs and Raptors available. You know, I kind of wish we wouldn't be in this scenario at this point. But you know, it's been 12 years, and... laners will continually make these mistakes, and they will still overstay, but we have vision denial in this bush. Will Lee Sin face check, and now he's moving back up here. His blue buff is about to spawn. We can see that he has 40 CS with 50 CS, 56 CS. We have a big lead. Hello in the bush. Death to the comma. So this is good vision control, good collapse. I'm getting caught up trying to make funnies about the Lee Sin, but this is fine. You're 5-0-1. You try to force a dragon. Nothing happened. You got the red. You rotated. You got kills. Well done to you. I'm proud of you. Good job. And pat yourself on the back. Because you probably used the Zada GG Live Companion Guide with Diana, which gave you tips like look for tower dives, and this is the best starting route and itemization that you can choose to go. And it also gave you counter tips specific to Lee Sin, so you knew exactly what to do. Yeah, that's linked below for 30 plus other junglers. And soon ability orders and maxes will be coming. I just have to finalize it, implement all of those, but of course there's a lot of junglers. We'll get to it. So after this kill in the bottom lane, that's nice and juicy. We fall back to our Krugs and our Raptors. We have almost 2k in the bucket. Lee Sin uses tight controlled pathing to go in onto the Seraphine. Overcommits with a flash. Seraphine does what Seraphine does, but excellent reactive pathing there by the Diana. The Lee Sin is getting a bit overzealous because he's struggling to find his win condition. You know, he wanted to float on the bottom lane, and this bottom lane didn't float with that. And so he is trying to overcommit on the mid lane now. Yone is 0-2-0, Singed is 2-0-0, and Yone has decided, hey, can we do this? And you know what? Sometimes I don't like it when they do this. Actually, most of the time I don't like it when they do this, but I will say, listen, thank you for starting it, unleashing it. I'm going to finish my quadrant, and I will be there thusly, which we are. And then we can secure it, and then we can use it on our chosen lane, 5, 5, and 3. This would be nice to bust open and elevate through, bring our bot lane to the mid lane to deny this guy's shelf power. You know, that's something we could look to do. RNG Scuttle here. My recommendation is to stay to finish this. I know Lee Sin might look to show up, but we have Prio, Singed is in the picture, and Seraphine is fresh. So, take that. That's huge, you know, it's becoming Krog Helmet value. You don't lose a lot of time. You don't have Smite, obviously, but you don't lose a lot of time on it. So I would 100% take that back to base. Now, you will note, we're going Nash's Tooth into Demonics, not Protobelt. We're going the Protobelt third. You can do this, although I'm significantly more of a fan of doing the Nash's Tooth into the Protobelt because that gap close, the passive, the active, it's just the whole package is just really, really useful for Diana's assassination potential. But the Demonics can work as a juicy item against Lee Sin's and Singed's, but you know, you're not fighting them. You're fighting Ziggs, you're fighting Ezreal, you're fighting Nami. Like the penetration passive from Rocket Belt, the AP, the HP, the active obviously does damage as well. The gap close onto a mobile comp specifically with the W. Then again, apparently we don't need any of those things, but you know what I mean, right? So you're understanding the principle. The Nash's Tooth here is absolutely disgusting. The passive, oh, she does so much damage. Good red smite, obviously, and we have a W up if we needed to use it. So, in terms of raw power on the Nash's Tooth, 100%, 100 AP, which is huge. 50% attack speed, which is huge. And now we're going in again. We got the W, we got the shield. Which, oh, we missed that Q. It doesn't really matter. We do get rooted in place. And we do have to be cautious because Karma can end up dishing up just a little bit of damage. Maybe she'll overcommit here, though. Like, it's still Diana. The burst potential turn is insane. I mean, you have 100 AP. We do have a giant spell plus a blasting one. Like, we're doing good work here. This is definitely an overcommit, an overchase. There you go. We can E-gap close into Ezra. Keep your auto attacks going through all the time. Q is up. There you go. Lee Sin shows up. Do we want to partake in this, sir? Don't think you do. Don't think you do. So, right there is a great example of why Nash's Tooth suits Diana so damn well. The AP ratios are absolutely nuts. The passive obviously getting amplified with your attack speed. Anything that has hit passives or bonus damage on X attack speed will be kind of useful. Now, a lot of champions that have that, sometimes it's not necessarily the frequency of it, but it scales with amount. So like you want AD for that third hit, right? But if that third hit is coming with 100 ability power and more often, then yeah, it's going to be good. Yana's trying to take out Grump and we let him do so. Don't recommend that. We do have the Ziggs in the mid lane here with the Karma now because we've elevated the game state thusly. I do want to kind of cut in here after this quadrant, very good. Ezreal's by himself on the bottom lane, and obviously, you know, we didn't really talk about it, but the attack speed aspect of her passive as well means you're tower shredding monster. We're just gonna QE over the wall ult and she gonna explode with... Yeah, I mean, the AP is a lot. Singe just moved, top lane gap. Top lane issue, 100%. Doesn't matter, keep surviving. Nice Q in the backline there. Misdirected intent, they misposition. You hit the Q in the backline, focus on the Singe next. Lee Sin is now in the picture. Can we hit that E? Yes, we can. Point and click, too easy. Activated the Herald, and now we can punch it. So, again, if you don't need to use the Herald, don't waste it in the bottom lane. Obviously, when we spoke about elevating the game state, we didn't mention. Well then, that was, again, unfortunate. But hey, happens to the best of us, and you know what? You don't want to rub it in their faces too much. You know, like, you're 12-0-5, you know, out of 17 kills. There's a dragon you haven't even taken. You're just controlling. You're super fat. You're one-shotting people. We're going to go into the rocket belt now. We have the Demonics Embrace. No one can kill us. We can kill everyone. You know, a little bit of an execute is just polite, really. It provides comedic relief to everybody. Makes them think they can win. It's a bit of a, it's a violent mental tactic. Now, you're out of position, so again, using excellent QEs onto the minion wave, right? You want to Q, you E, you get the reset, then you've got that second E to use, and that's all you really need when you have that much AP, because you can stick to them with your gigantically huge auto attack range. Always feels greater than it is, but, you know, it's like the Aurelio things. Now, they're all collapsing in the mid lane here. Jonas decided that Singed got the drop on him earlier, not for that to happen again, says, guys, can we do something? Yes, we can. And what you're noticing here is when her team makes those plays, right, and looks to try and make something happen, at the end of the day, you have to remember, you have 100% KP at this point, right? You have 100% KP at this point. You are the deciding factor whether this game is going to be won or lost. Because if you decide to now go farming camps while your Yone tries to make their play, and you're like, guys, hold up, I need these camps, and your team dies and gives shutdowns and loses this, oof, right? So you just flow, go with the flow in this one. If there's fights and numbers, use them always perma, and execute and demoralize with prejudice, because they are not the blue team. And we hate everybody that is not the blue team. And if you play with relative teams, then you can say that no matter what side of the map you're on, which I do, of course, because I'm a human being. Right, we're gonna go, I also play with music off. I learned today that people don't play with music off. I mean, after 10,000 games, you can't listen to the same damn music. Like, who? Really? Some of you have played this game 5,000 games and listen to the music every game? It's fascinating to me. Yeah. No, my own music or no music, so I can hyper-focus. Now, from this, we've sequenced, and that's enough personal shots, I apologize. I'm in a bit of a fisty mood at the moment. End of season and so on, and I mentioned the word Morellos on Twitter, and basically all of the LS fanboys and other assorted quote-unquote savants had a good run at it. I'm just burst out laughing. Next year for Halloween, I'm cosplaying as Morellos. I'm gonna buy a hat, just put it on, and I'll just sit there and stream with it while watching Worlds. Because apparently when people who shouldn't build it against comps they shouldn't build it against, and then it does no healing reduction, it makes the item terrible in all situations. Whereas I built it in Zyra against a Soraka comp and did 8,500 healing reduction. And from this you win, you know, so the item is great, the values are great. It's 2,500 gold for 90 AP, 300 HP, plus anti-healing against a comp when you really need it. I'm gonna buy it. But if you're a LeBlanc, no, don't. It doesn't work as well on Burst. So the item is good, it's not good when you build it on the wrong people, which is the same thing at every bloody item in the game. Don't build Stoneplate first on an ADC and then tweet, Stoneplate sucks, terrible item, stop building it. Obviously, I shouldn't be building it in the first place. Anyway, so that's my rant aside. In the meantime, we farmed a little bit, collapsed the mid lane tower, killed that. Now we're falling back into their jungle, which is obviously what you want to do. We see Lee Sin trying to make plays. They're collapsing on the Janna here. Worthless face check over the wall. Nice old two-man stack, huge damages, and wow. How to assassin is this player's name. This is how you assassin. Angles of approach, chase down potential, and using the burst with impeccable timing so that they cannot escape it. It also means having an item build that allows you to amplify your damage as much as possible. So if you went Morello's on Diana, that would be griefing, for example. Even if you thought you might need to buy it against this comp, it would be better for someone else to buy it, right? If you're a Desire, for example. So here we go for the Nash's Tooth, plus the Proto Belt, plus the Demonic's Embrace. You don't necessarily need the Demonic's Embrace, although in this particular case, I do understand it. They have a lot of damage. I accidentally muted my mic by accident. So we've moved on through the red side jungle here, and I was just saying, you know, against them, it's good to have that added percentage burn plus a added HP for yourself. Now we're trapping. This is typical assassin stuff, right? You always want to trap in these particular situations. Hello, Singed. Can we kill you? No, because you're Singed. We get kicked. We get airborne. We get queued. We reposition again. Avoid the poison trail. Yone goes in to finish off the kill on the Singed's name, which is just, I cannot pronounce. Dash Vidua 32 over 1. And Mips, Lee Sin is dead as well. Yone shows up. Kim Jug King. Okay. Ezreal shows up here thinking he can clean up on the Yone, but he can actually. Yeah, I don't think that's going to save you, buddy. I think you should have just... I like how the Lee Sin is spam pinging that Diana's flash. Like it means anything in this particular point. It doesn't mean anything, my friend. But yeah, you could very easily... Zhonya's, Void, Deathcap are your typical AP assassin items. I wouldn't necessarily say you need the Demonic's Embrace, but it works. It gives you tankiness. It allows you to sustain against things like the Singed, as I said. But as your playstyle dictates, as you feel more synergy, right? Because some players still enjoy the Sunfire build. They still enjoy it. I mean, it's the fact of great. I mean, if you want Diamond, just play, run around, farm, drool a bit, and synergistically with your Sunfire, obviously burning damage, and you'll win. You know, you'll just be unkillable, but you will notice a huge lack of damage now. You know, it is nerfed Demonics, but you will notice a huge lack of damage in comparison to what the Sunfire Demonics build used to be like. Because now Sunfire's been nerfed, that HP interaction was nerfed, HP's been removed from Demonics, so you're getting less inherent damage on the Sunfire as well from that. It just means that this... Yeah, the Proto Belt, Zhonya's Proto Belt, Nash's build, these are going to be your better builds, right? We're scanning to see if someone walks over the wall. If they do, we can hit a Q, we'll get vision, we can E, and we can kill them. So it's a nice use of the scanner there until such time as wards are placed. No one wishes to face check, so we will go ahead and Schnackadak this Dragon. The enemy team is grouping in the mid lane here. And from this, you should typically, if you're worried about scaling, if you're worried about any sort of coin flip environment, please just go straight to the Baron. You can take so many early Barons in these kind of environments. You could just solo it too. But yeah, to the Baron, an early 21 minute Baron is so good in this meta when you want to close games out. It's like it's too easy to secure. I've said this many times on the channel. It's too easy to secure, especially if your team is distracting them. They're going to feel the need to try and kill somebody. If someone split it, they just might as well kill somebody, and it gives you the time to do the Baron, and then you can collapse on them afterwards. Ziggs can also be killed down there if we want to run into him, so we don't get grounded. We get flipped into a root, but then we just... Well, and the Ziggs... Okay, so, you know, they just flipped grounded the Diana and said, call an ambulance. And then Diana said, yeah, but not for me. And then Ziggs was like, do you need help, madam? And satcheled her away from any poison or damage. So we'll take that. That's juicy. 18-1-8, so 26 out of 26. Wonder where we lose the 3%. See, now I'm concerned. Like, why is it not 100% KP? Like, we were so close to perfection here. And that's nice to see. I'm doing a game for the main channel. It should go up tomorrow or Thursday at the latest on how to win when all lanes lose. So you're watching this, you're like, okay, well, my lanes were serviceable. And yes, but at the same time, look, it's a 4-6-3 Yone. It's a 1-3-7 Seraphine. It's a 3-3-8 Caitlyn. We, the jungler, did this work. We got the kills. We collapsed. We won the lanes. We elevated the game state. We took the heralds. We pushed the Lee Sin out of the jungle. We have pushed the map. And that's the royal we here, because I mean you know, the Diana in the situation or whatever you're playing. And you're seeing how it's still tough to get into their base. Like, this is a huge lead, but we're not in their base yet. Okay? And the Lee Sin shows up to try and hold this, and his Hex Drinker does naught. Well, delays his death, I guess. It's not technically naught. Hello, grounding sir. Let me just ult you and kill you. Can I do more? Should be a Q in the cards soon. Oh, Yone does it. Oh, there he is. It's like, who's that? Oh, Yone. The flanking Yone, Gandalf, on the mountain, running down to help us. Well, that's how he views himself. He views himself as the Gandalf with a horde of horses running down some orcs from the side. But this is very much the Gandalf at home, I think. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty clean game overall. It looks like the karma is just deactivated anyway, so that doesn't help the closing of the game. They could stall the game out another couple minutes, but obviously her just being gone there for the last few minutes doesn't really make a difference. The Baron, the push, we're all doing that exactly the same. We win the fight exactly the same, and we end the game exactly the same. So a little bit of a fun 97% KP game for you. Nice hard carry game to show you the power of the Nash's Tooth Diana in terms of attack speed, passive synergy, and of course 100 AP burst damage combos. Yeah, almost at the end of season 13. Please keep watching these. I try to put out a whole bunch in October. Obviously that affected views negatively because there's now more content to watch. You pick and choose, but I'm gonna go back down to maybe 4 a week and see how that adjusts. I still want 10,000 views per video. You know, it's still the goal. Just for like my peace of mind and just to keep the content free flowing and not overly saturated. So thank you for watching all of the videos in October. If you did, thank you for watching this. Please do like, share, and comment if you did enjoy and learn something. Zara GG guys, link below. Patreon guides and coaching linked below, and main channel linked below as well. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. Morellos.